Good evening, everybody. How y'all doing today? It's your boy, Coach Lee. Sports talk with friends, but we're doing the Iron Sharpens Iron episode tonight. Special episode celebrating our fathers. Happy Father's Day to all those out there today. I got some special guests on here with me today. Go way back with these fellas, all the way back to one of them junior high, the other one high school. But been friends forever, brothers for life. First person we got coming on here today, cause he made it on here first for the backstage thing. What's up, Dre? How you doing today, man?
Man, I'm good. What's kicking?
Not a doggone thing, brother. Appreciate you jumping on here with us today. Secondly, he was late because he be late everywhere he go, but still all good. My man Drake, what's up, man?
Long as you make it, you on time, big homie. What's up, fam?
Not a damn thing, man.
Good
Appreciate
to see
y'all
y'all,
jumping on
man.
with us today. Happy Father's Day to you brothers, man.
Same to
Yeah,
you guys.
happy Father's Day.
Hey, man, we're going to jump right into it because I know today's a special day celebrating us and other fathers out there. So I definitely want to keep you too far from your families. So we're going to jump right into it. We're going to chop up a couple of things. Hopefully we can inspire some other young men and fathers out there to be as successful as y'all been thus far. So right off the bat, no particular order y'all want to answer, but what makes a good father?
Well, personally, just being present, first of all, I think to be a good father, you have to be present. You have to allow yourself to be there at the opportune times because you never know when that fatherly advice or that fatherly help or that fatherly nurture will be needed. It might be 7 o'clock in the morning. It might be 12 o'clock midnight. It might be you might get a call from school in the middle of the day. So just to be present and being there is most important to me.
Okay, I can agree
Yeah,
with that. Drake?
I piggyback everything Drake said. Plus, not only present, but you do got to add that financial support too, as well, because it is important. Because you know these kids out here, they seeing everything online and on TV, but I mean, you ain't got to give them everything, but you do got to support them so they can be taken care of.
Right
True
on.
that.
I
True
get
that. So, man, it's kind of always been the notion out there, from a father's perspective that, especially, a lot of times they, this whole narrative that black fathers are not present. And I know I've been knowing y'all for a while, back to riding bikes, hanging out, or whatever, and I've never seen y'all not be present in your children's lives. You've always been there, above and beyond. So, what do y'all think about that narrative that's out there, as far as that I'm gonna call it what it is? It's actual folk tale.
yeah, it's just big stereotype, I think. I mean, I actually hate it. I mean, I hate it with a passion, but that's my drive. That's what fuels me. You know what I mean?
Right.
As a black man, I don't want it to ever be said that myself nor any other black men that I associate with, I deal with on a regular basis, whether family or friends, loved ones or neighbors, don't think that your kids are a priority. I don't know not one that doesn't put their kids first in their lives. Don't know one that wouldn't make sacrifices for their kids. So wherever that notion come from, that gives me the fuel to fight it every day and say, hey, no, I'm gonna prove you wrong. You know what I'm saying? Especially, and I hate to say it, especially in other races' eyes for their perspective, because you see it or you hear it when you walking on the sidewalks or whatever, wherever you are. Uh, how many times have you heard, maybe not talking directly to you and your group, but you done heard them insinuate things about another group of kids that's out? I wonder where their fathers are. I wonder where they.
Right.
I've heard it, and I can't stand it. That doesn't mean that their father is not there or their father's not present in their life. It's just at that particular time, it's none of your business, homeboy, and you don't know where they are. So don't assume the worst from our kids right off the bat. You understand what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
Right.
personally, I use it as fuel to fight, and that gives me drive every day to prove that statistic or that stereotype as a falsehood that's been wrong.
Yeah. Man, you know what? I think they use that to try to keep us back,
Right on.
hold black men back.
Mm-hmm.
Cause I don't know, growing up, man, my father died when I was what 1 or 2 years old. So
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even know him. But at the same time, I had plenty of role models, black men, and from Pop Warner coaches, basketball coaches, uncles, grandfathers. They was all in my life. So, that stereotype is crazy. And
So
then as I got older, my stepfather was there. So
right on.
there was always somebody in my life. So, they instilled that. So I gotta take care of mine. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that stereotype is just they keep putting that perception out there to make black men look bad, keep
So
holding us back.
so do you or how should I say it? For a black man to fall victim to it and accept that stereotype, that's what the major problem is.
That bingo right there.
You know what I mean? So because let's just say, and I applaud you in your situation because that's the exception. You are an exception, to be honest with you, Dre, because I don't have the statistics on it, but to be fatherless, and I'm not saying a mother can't raise a child or whatever case may be, to be fatherless and to learn and know on your own how to be a father and not having your father there to teach you how to be a father, but you still had father figures, that's an exception for you to accept that. And I applaud you for that right off the bat. You know what I mean? Because that's something that you had to learn on your own. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, appreciate that. Yeah,
Hey
but
man,
it's
yeah,
crazy because it's brothers out here that's teaching young cats who like, hey, you got to be a man.
Right, right.
Pull your pull your pants up and be a man.
Hmm.
Grow up.
I
Yeah.
do feel like that narrative is starting to change. I think a lot of it has to do with the political climate that we have. Um, Social media probably plays a role in that to an extent, but I do see and I hear a lot more older brothers who do take that badge of honor to like, hey man, before you might see somebody doing something that they shouldn't have been doing, you're not going to take it to the point to where you get into a confrontation with them. But if you see something that might be out of line or not be becoming of that young man, I see a lot more men speaking up on it now.
Right, right.
Like you say, hey man, pick your pants up or hold the door open for for the old folks and the ladies and the babies or whatever the case may be. Just little simple things like that. Because a lot of times, you might have some people that do try to play into that stereotype and their role and for whatever reason, take it as a badge of honor. But they giving these young men the wrong advice. But I do feel like the climate is starting to change somewhat to
Hmm.
where you starting to see that narrative change. I could be wrong. It's just based on what I've seen.
Right, 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 right. Well, it takes a village to raise a child. And
Yes, sir.
I know when I was coming up, I mean, and you know this for sure, Clarence. In our neighborhood, especially the few black families that was in our neighborhood, we spoke up for each other. You know what I
Yep.
mean? If if my parents saw something out of line with you, or your parents saw something out of line with me, they wasn't afraid to tell me, "Hey, your pops or your mom would get you for that." They would
In a heartbeat.
leave that alone. Stop doing that. Stop throwing rocks over there at them horses and all that kind of stuff, messing with them people's
Right.
property. So they would check us on that. But somewhere down the line, I would say in the between the 90s and early 2000s, I don't know that generation right there, that almost about that 20-year gap. These I don't know if they were the baby boomers or what. They was afraid to say something to other folks' kids. You know, they were afraid to check or afraid to discipline when they know they was wrong. They would just turn the other cheek and let the ill behavior go on. You know what I mean? It's like walking in a grocery store and you seeing a kid maybe playing with the fruit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Are you gonna man up, or are you gonna be the adult and say, young man or young woman, either you're gonna buy the fruit or stop playing with the fruit.
Leave it alone. Somebody else gonna want to try to eat that.
Somebody else is gonna be hungry. Somebody else
Hey,
is gonna
Jay,
that fruit.
that sound like some experience right there.
Hey, I was mad as mud. They messed with my plums and my peaches, man. Come on, man.
Yeah, you already sound like Pawpaw there, man.
I want to make me some peach preserve out of them peaches. You know, rolling them around and squeezing them and all that, squeezing the flavor out of them. Come on now. You know?
So, what's been the best part of being a father for y'all?
Man, for me, cause look, now we got custody of my nieces now, like starting over, and man,
How you
just
find the
waking
energy
up.
for that, man?
That's true, but it's at the same time, I got a little girl, and we just be rolling, and she just be talking and asking all kinds of questions and jumping on me, and we be like, I love you, daddy. I was like, boy, I just melt. I like, here go all my money.
So over the years, could you say, Dre, that you appreciate
Man, I love it.
fatherhood more now than you did 25 years ago?
Oh yeah, yeah. Cause I'm
Yep.
seasoned. I'm seasoned now. You know what I'm saying? Good.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up.
It don't bother me as much now.
Right on, right on, right on.
Yeah, I can definitely attest to that, man. You know, having not necessarily starting over directly, per se, but having the grandkids here, man. And I remember some of the conversations I've had in the past about, opportunities I may have missed because I was at work or just, still growing myself and trying to figure out this thing called fatherhood. But now I find myself in the moments for stuff. Now I find myself a lot more patient about, before when my kids were younger, they out of line, I was on them.
Yeah,
but now I like, they just being kids. Now if they doing something crazy, of course I'm gonna say something, but they just being kids. I'm gonna let them have fun. It might be driving nerves racket or something like that, but I'm gonna let them have fun and and play and enjoy being kids.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, you and I had a conversation about that a few months ago. See, you was telling me about that. Yeah, that's what's up, man. Yeah.
And it's definitely enjoyable, man. And I don't told my other two, I ain't in no big hurry, to add to the grandfather title, so take their time. But I'm definitely looking forward to it, and everything that we do now is for that.
Right.
Something as simple as furniture that we pick out for the house. It's just gonna be durable for kids.
Yeah.
Or getting ready to extend out the patio. What are the plans for that? What's that gonna look like as we grow as a family? Things like that. So I take all that stuff into consideration, but man, I wouldn't change it for nothing. And being a father is cool, being a grandfather is great, but just being a role model for kids as a man and in that fatherhood role, wouldn't change it for the world, man.
I like that. That's what's up, man. I think I found pleasure in watching them grow, man.
Yeah.
Hard work and effort that it takes to be a parent, all the conversations, all the advice, the lectures, all the heartaches, the nights and days and times when they're being upset and crying, and even sometimes the joy or whatever. But to watch them come of age and grow and be successful members of society, I enjoy the hell out of it. I mean, I'm like, man, did I do that? You know what I'm saying? I know we all saved by the grace of God and all that kind of stuff, but did I have a hand in this kid becoming the young man that he is, or the young woman that he is? And I can't do nothing but be thankful and count my blessings, man, on that, because when we all have fallen short, man, and we all just one step from either being in prison or being in dead, or
Yep.
being excited for this and that. To see my kids grown and being productive members of society and still working and still grinding to trying to get better, man, that's, ooh, man, I found much joy in that, man. Much joy.
I definitely can relate to
And
that.
it's crazy too, because when your kids get grown, they they tend to appreciate listening to you now.
Yeah.
So
That's true.
you know what
That's true.
they do. They listen. But
Mhm.
I like the grandkids because because they listen to your stories.
Yeah.
Everything you tell them, they
Hey, what you say? You
so
ain't
they
got nobody
believe
else to
everything.
talk to but grandbaby.
That's so true, man.
Uh, say.
So, what was your biggest challenge as far as being a father?
Hmm. I had a I had an episode of dealing with my oldest and his anger issues or whatever, and it was he was becoming like 13, 14, whatever that age was. And I remember one particular incident in particular. He started the basketball game. I think he was in the seventh or eighth grade. He started the basketball game, played well. Coach took him out like 5 minutes, 4 minutes left in the second half. I mean, in the second period. Second period. After halftime, the beginning of the third period, coach didn't put him back in to start second half. But right before he took him out, he had an incident to where when he got fouled or felt as though the ref made a bad call or something, he was beating on the mats. Just how the mats behind the goal,
Mm-hmm.
just beating on the mat. He ref, whatever. So he took his anger out on the ref on the mat. So after the game, I had a conversation with him about it. And to make a long story short, I had a period of dealing with him during that time frame of dealing with his anger issues and not being able to control his anger issues, because, and it wasn't that he couldn't control it or was out of mind or acting foolish. It was that a lot of times his own personal expectations caused it. So
Mm.
he was angry. So he was
Gotcha.
angry because he wouldn't accept either the consequences or the road or whatever you want to say it, or what God's given opportunity or whatever that God's plan that he has for him. You see what I'm saying? It's
Mm-hmm.
not meant for all of us to make straight A's. It's not meant for all of us to go to the pros. You understand what I'm saying? It's not meant
Mm-hmm.
for all of us to be a millionaire. So am I gonna be mad at working hard, grinding every day, and being successful and still not being a millionaire? Or am I gonna be okay? I'm not really okay, or just say, as long as I'm grinding, as long as I'm working hard, as long as I'm financially stable and I'm seeing the fruits of my labor and the benefits of me working hard and grinding every day, I'm cool with that. You understand
Yeah.
what I'm saying? I
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to be that one to be that millionaire. Now I'm gonna strive to be financially stable and financially successful until to the day I die. But what I'm saying is, when things are out of your control, a lot of times you make it worse trying to control it. And then you start having anger issues with it. You know, man, I just can't get this right. Man, I just can't do that. Well, go back to the drawing board. Let's see if you can fix it. And then if you can't fix it, or well, keep striving, keep climbing. But don't get angry and frustrated and start acting out of character. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
So I had a issue with a peer with him of teaching him how to control his anger. You know what I'm saying? And he's cool, he's stable now, but that's hard growing up and seeing adults with anger issues. Adults with anger issues, these the ones you seeing, and they just passed this new gun law in Texas. These the ones you seeing that at the drop of the hat, because the joker step on your sneakers, you know what I'm saying? You want to shoot them, you want to kill them,
Yep.
you get in an argument with these little women and stuff like that, and you act out of character and do things you shouldn't do. It's stuff like that that causes you, when you can't control your anger, that puts you in hot water and puts you in situations that you don't want to be in. So it was very important to me to get him to know how to focus and control his anger and control his temper. You understand what I'm saying?
I understand exactly what you're saying, and that's a big component right there. Not necessarily just being a man, but as far as, like, what we started off the show with, the perception of Black fatherhood. And a lot of times, they try to label these, these kids as uncoachable, or don't want to take constructive criticism and stuff like that. That's where we come into play at, to be able to teach them how to deal with it.
What they always say nowadays? Oh, you're an angry Black woman. I hate that. I hate that stereotype, especially when you're out in public or a restaurant and you hear them behind the counter. Let's just say if it's a Black woman complain about she was charged too much or something, which she got every given right to express her opinion on and say, hey, you overcharged me for this. But however, the woman or the person behind the counter gonna stereotype her as being an angry Black woman. I hate that. I hate that.
Shout out to Facebook user. It used to take a village, but now people don't want anyone to correct them. That's facts.
Right on.
That's real.
Definitely see that, and having that's the one thing I do miss about coaching Pop Warner football and whatnot, City League ball, is being able to be that positive influence. Because we had a lot of kids out there that came from a single parent household. A lot of times, we go buy shoes for kids, get donations for shoes, picking kids up at practice, dropping them off and stuff like that. Because at that point in time, it's not the child's fault that the father may not be involved with them, for whatever the reasons may be. Or it could be a single dad. I've had those situations where the mom wasn't in the picture. So, but at the end of the day, being able to be influential in that child's life for the right reasons. We may not know that they're looking at us, but a lot of times kids watching closely because they don't know what else to do. They either gonna watch TV or watch whoever in front of them, and their idea of what a father should be or what an adult should be is based on what they see. That's why it's critical about the environment that the children are raised in and being able to have that positive influence.
Right on. So have you ever
everything they know is being learned.
That's true.
It's being taught to them.
Good and bad.
Man.
behavior is learned. So
it is.
What the subject we was on before we got live on the air. Hey, that's a kid. Behavior is learned. You don't have to teach that kid that behavior. You know what I'm saying? So So I agree with that wholeheartedly. So have you ever been in a situation where a kid? Better quit messing with me. Have you ever been in a situation? Have you ever been in a situation, Clarence, like you say, you coaching, and you giving a kid a ride home from school, or you giving a kid a ride home from practice or to practice, and let's just say you talking to the kid about his work ethics when it comes to studying, and a month or two later, the kid gets in your truck, or you take the kid home, and the kid mom said, you know, such and such passed this spelling test, but it was based on a conversation. It was based on some instructions that you gave that kid, or that a conversation you and that kid has had over a long period of time for a month or two, and it finally comes to fruition that, hey, that kid was successful at achieving what you had been discussing for the last couple of days, weeks, or months. Have you ever been in a situation where you realized that, or that came to fruition, man? I have several times, and that's what, man, that's what coaching was about to me. That's when
Yep.
I started to experience, joy and happiness as coaching, as being that mentor for that kid. Because in all actuality, just like teachers, you are there with that kid on a constant basis more than the parents are.
Right. That's facts.
Come home, feed the kids, schoolwork, bathe, go to bed. That's it.
Yep.
2 3 hours window. You there with that kid 4 5 days a week, 7 hours a day.
Yep.
You're very influential on that kid. You know what I mean? And so to see a kid take school seriously, when I know that's been the subject of our conversation, man, I'll take that with me to my grave. You feel what I'm saying?
Most definitely.
Yeah.
And no matter how many kids you talk to, if you get across to one of them, it make it worthwhile, man.
Right on. Just
You
one.
wish you just one. You
Just
wish you can get them all, but that one, that can be that one that can take the teachings and discussions that you've had, and they can pay it forward to somebody else. Or it may be some youngins coming up behind him because he knew how he was at that age and what type of coaching and mentorship he received. He may try to pay it backwards to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out to my business partner, Alvin, Uncle Leroy, Elijah Leroy. Our society's kids don't have role models, and the ones we did, the media has killed their name. Therefore, kids don't listen.
Well, a lot of them
That's
do
why,
listen though. What's good though, what's real important though is when you got brothers and sisters that's younger than you,
yeah,
and they see what you're doing.
yeah,
So you definitely gotta be an example to them. Keep them on the straight and narrow.
Right. Then you straddling that fence of being a role model, or that brother or that older brother or sister that's trying to be overbearing a little bit
right,
too to that younger sibling, and it's a
Yeah.
very thin line that you straddle to be able to keep the lines of communication open with that younger sibling before they start to assume, think, big sister such and such, a big brother such and such. Now, big brother, big sister, I'm still just your sister or brother, but I'm just trying to instill with you how to learn from my mistakes. You know what I mean?
right.
I'm just trying to tell you that crowd you hanging around, or that little girl that's got you dressing provocative or whatever. You don't have to be that. You can take pride in what you wearing. You take pride in your body. Take pride in how you speak. You know what I mean? You don't have to
Yep.
be that one to use vulgar language to be tough, to get your point across. You know what I mean? You don't have to be that one to walk around with a chip on your shoulder to let people know you tough and don't mess with me. Now, you can be tough. You can stand your ground, and jokers know you have to mess with me, but you don't have to be that fool. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
I'll probably say
Say that's
part of
great.
my, say again,
Go
Drake.
ahead. Go ahead. See. Go ahead. See.
Now I'm gonna say I think probably part of my biggest challenge, man, I still have troubles with it, is my youngest one is 20. I'm sorry, 21, about to be 22. Is whoever they date, I don't care who they are, they ain't gonna never be good enough for my kids.
Okay.
And
Let's
especially
talk
with both
about
my daughters, man. I and I even recently, like in the past, I kind of let them kind of do their thing, and if they dating somebody and I give some advice on it, I kind of let them kind of figure things out. But I told them recently, man, I can't sit back and do that no more. as their father, if I see some red flags, we got to chop it up and talk about it.
Okay.
And ultimately, it's going to be your decision, but I won't put some game in your ear as far as this is what I'm seeing. It's up to you to either validate it or ignore it.
Okay.
Choice is yours, but make sure it's okay to date. It's okay to have a significant other at that point in time, but unless that person has taken you as your as their wife or husband, depending on the situation, obviously. Unless they done that, you need to still keep them over there in the boyfriend girlfriend realm, because a lot of times you give them all this husband type of qualities and stuff like that. You don't need to be putting your time and effort into it like that. You don't know what he's doing when you're not around. You don't know what she's doing when they're not around. And that part has been kind of hard for me because, you know, my kids don't pick some duds out there, man. So, so all I try to do is just like if you coaching the kid on the court or the field, man, I'm gonna try to coach you up. We're gonna watch this game film. We're gonna try to keep them having that mistake again.
Big C, so what you got behind that? What you got? 45 or 12 games? What you got just in case something jump out?
Hey, they finna start going to this range with me on a regular basis, man, just in case they gotta put, because you got this gun law out there and people be feeling froggy, man. So just in case. And you know, and probably my proud moment for me was my youngest daughter when we had the ice storm back there back in February. And I still laugh, so I'm already chuckling about this. So she was off work a couple of days, and finally that Friday they had to go back to work. I wasn't ready for her to get out there and risk driving herself to work, so I drove her to work and picked her up. So her boyfriend, I heard her talking to him, and he's like, "Man, you spoiled. Your daddy taking you to work." She said, "I'm not spoiled. This is not let you know what I expect of you. If you can't do what my daddy does and more, we don't need to be together."
Bingo. Bingo.
These are my expectations.
I say that every day. Treat your daughters like queens. Have them want for nothing. So whoever they meet, they gotta far exceed her expectations and what you do already to gain her attention. You feel what I'm saying?
Feel you, definitely.
Dude, man. I agree with that wholeheartedly, Big C. Yeah.
Let me tell y'all a funny story, because you know, Crystal got married a few weeks ago. My daughter, you know, Renee baby, Jane.
I got you.
So yeah, so we at the wedding, so I'm congratulating her husband. So, you know, we dap it up, give him a man hug. And I told him, I said, "Man, you doing a good job. You better take care of my baby." And he was like, "I am." And then I was like, "Yeah, I'm just playing with you, man. We laugh." And then before I let him go, I was like, "You know, I'm serious, right?"
Right.
That's that heart-to-heart conversation.
Yeah.
You build him up to break him down. Then you build him back up and break him down again. Yeah, for sure, man. For sure.
So I got a couple more questions. Like I said, I don't want to keep y'all too long. I'm definitely have a blast chopping it up with y'all, man. What would you advise your younger self if you was able to go back in time as far as like being a father?
Ooh.
Man. I would tell my younger self, don't become a father too soon. Not right out of high school, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Shout out to you, Christopher Reed.
I would say that's a tough one, see.
Yeah.
I wish I had more patience, like Dre said earlier. Now that he's older, as a grandparent, he's enjoying being a parent more. Because I think when we're younger and we become parents, we're under so much pressure from the start.
Yeah.
To get it right. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? I don't want no harm to come to my kids or my children. I want to make sure I make the best decisions on their best behalf. But
Mm-hmm.
for those that try, we be under so much tremendous pressure to the point where, man, we got to get this thing right. So I would tell my young self to ease up on yourself a little bit, son. Stop putting so much pressure on yourself and have a little more patience with the kid. You know, if that kid is going to trip over some things, let that kid trip over some hurt himself. You know what I'm saying? It's okay. You
Right.
know, just be there. You know, to catch them when they fall or whatever. But just to have a little bit more patience with them. That's what I would try to tell my younger self.
Factual. That's crucial there, man.
Yeah.
What advice would you have for young fathers? And Drake, you 2 months away from this from your oldest son.
Mm. I would say just be present in their life. Be there for them, man. Show up and be there for them, man. You know, no matter what, no matter through the heartaches, through the good through the bad, because from all that, that's when you get to exercise your fatherly rights, or you get to exercise your wisdom and your knowledge to be a father to that child. If you there, if you're not there, you don't know that kid had a fever at 3 o'clock in the morning. You know what I mean? If you're
Mm-hmm.
not there. You know what I mean? If that kid throwing up in the middle of the night and you're not there, you don't know that that kid has been throwing up and up half the night and still got to go to school in the morning. You don't know. You understand what I'm saying? So I would tell them just try to put forth the effort as much as possible, just to be a presence in that child's life as much as possible. You know what I mean? That's what I would tell them.
Yeah.
That's rock solid
Man,
there, man.
I would add something to it. I would tell them too, man, don't let your kids, I don't care how mad you are or don't like the mother, man, don't be disrespectful in front of the kids to their mother.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. I always show them respect.
Hey, if it because I tell it, with my oldest daughter and her kids and stuff like that, is don't ever say ill about the other parent in front of the kids. Because I
Okay.
tell her, I say if the pattern continues, they gonna see that on their own. Let them come to their own conclusion.
Right.
Yeah.
The missed holiday. I mean, the missed holidays and birthdays and broken promises and things like that. They gonna come to that on their own. So, but
I can
don't
see.
ever discredit the other parent in front of your children under any circumstances.
Okay. I'm feeling that. I'm feeling that.
Shout out to Chris Reed again. Said you're doing a good job, fellas. Hopefully, this positivity will get out to these young fathers. Great examples of fathers on display. Appreciate it, sir. Man, like I say, I won't keep y'all on here too long. I know it's still our day to celebrate. Got this basketball game going. So I'm going to wrap it up. But before we do, I want to thank y'all heartily, man. Y'all jumped at the opportunity when we talked about this, in a wild and crazy conversations that we have. And I appreciate and I love y'all for that, man. But before we leave, any shout outs I have out there?
I want to get a shout out to the fellas who not on the podcast. You know who you are.
He gonna get roasted.
Cause we ain't
Hey, Big C. You know who you are. Oompa Loompa, RuPaul, Meatloaf. You know who you are.
Hey, we definitely got to have a makeup session to get them and get their buzz on here, man.
Yeah, right on, big dog, right on.
Appreciate it. What about yourself, Mr. Dre?
man, I just appreciate you letting us get on here, man. Chap it up with you. Yeah.
For sure, man. Just so y'all know, this is definitely the rated G version of our conversations. But hey, man, it ain't too. No, I got friends from college, friends from high school, man. And for those, that I stay in contact with, I keep y'all in my life for a reason. My kids call y'all uncles and stuff like that, man. I got number love for y'all. Oh, matter of fact, somebody said they coming for you, Uncle Drake.
I see it. I see it.
But I appreciate y'all, man. I love you, brothers, man. And Chris said, "Don't be mentioning runs, Drake."
Y'all see, y'all about to get me beat up, man.
But hey, man, I love you, brothers, man. Looking forward to I know we're gonna talk about this behind scenes, but y'all keep staying positive, man, and keep being the type of role model that our kids need to see and have in their lives, man. I got number love for you and respect for you, brothers, man.
Same here, man. Much love and happy Father's Day to you fellas, man.
I appreciate y'all, man. Y'all be good now.
All right, big dog. Love y'all, man.
Love you too, brother.
Later.